All right, check your calendar because we are less than a month out from tax day at this moment. And if you still haven't filed, you should be aware of some common mistakes important to avoid so you get your refund in a timely fashion. Let's bring in Medora Lee now to give us some money tips. She's a personal finance reporter with USA Today, joining us from Chicago. Medora, good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. So help our viewers understand what some of the most common mistakes people make are that they can avoid.
So a lot of times people make very simple mistakes and they don't even realize it. I mean, sometimes the people don't actually even spell their name correctly. That's hard to believe. But after all this talk about filing as early as possible to get your return as quickly as possible, sometimes filing too early can be bad because you may not get all of your documents together and you may miss something. Or sometimes people mistype their social security numbers, and they also choose incorrect filing status. So it's really important to make sure that everything you have matches, all your numbers match. And believe it or not, you also have to sign and date your return. A lot of people forget that as well. So to avoid some of these things, maybe try to use some tax software that walks you through everything and they do all the math for you because math errors are also very common. So some of those things are things you should think about.
Yeah, and we're seeing some of the items that delay a refund, and that includes errors. And it's important that you're mentioning these can be very basic entry-level errors at some point. But when you're doing so much math and you're so stressed, these things can be more common, perhaps, than we think. Now, the deadline is mid-April to if you owe the government, but if they owe you money, they have until later in the year. So at what point should people be concerned if they haven't received a refund they're owed?
So if you have filed a return, most people will get their return, or excuse me, their refund within 21 days of when they file their tax returns if there are no mistakes. It can be much faster if you file electronically and also receive the money electronically. But if it's been 21 days or more and you still haven't seen your refund and you filed your return electronically, you might want to try to contact the Taxpayer Assistance Center to try to track it. If you did a paper refund or paper return, then you can wait until 6 weeks or more before contacting them. But the best thing to do is really, they have a tool on the IRS website where you can track your refunds. That updates once every 24 hours, so you don't need to check it all day long. And that'll kind of tell you where in the process your return is.
And do this quick fact check for us, because at this time of year, people often talk about wanting a refund, wanting to make sure they have a big refund, but help us understand why getting a refund in tax season is actually not the best financial strategy.
Uh, there's always this debate because if you're getting a big refund, that means that you have overpaid your taxes during the year. So your withholding has probably been too high during the year. So some people say that, instead of trying to aim for that giant refund, you could get a little bit more money throughout the year if you lower your withholding tax and adjust that. So, there are two sides to every coin. Some people say that you could have had more money during the year if you lowered your withholding tax. Some people really rely on that big refund. Maybe it's a psychological thing that they know it's coming, they plan around it, and it's something that will help them get through or buy something that they've been wanting for a while.
Yeah, there's always two sides to that coin. Medora Lee, thanks for explaining it all. Joining us from Chicago, where it's 6:25.